Hey artists, we're going to make these beautiful Ming vases filled with cherry blossoms. Follow along with me and I'll show you all the steps to create your own. All right, the first thing you're going to do is take your paper and make sure it's up and down vertically. And you're going to take one side and you're going to fold it over to the other side this tall hot dog way. Now, looking at some of these vase shapes on our idea sheet, we're going to just look at some of the different shapes and see what kind of shape we would like to make. I notice most of these kind of go from a skinny part to a wider part. So I see that it can go in and it comes out to a wider part and then thin again. Some of them have kind of a bigger opening. Some of them might have a smaller opening. Some of them might have a handle. Using that, I'm going to take my pencil. Now, the most important thing is that you know that this is the part that is open and we are drawing where the fold is. Where the fold is, I'm going to draw the top of my vase. So it's going to kind of come straight. And then I see that on most of these, it kind of goes in a little bit. And then it comes out. Now, I don't want it to be really skinny. I want it to come all the way to the edge. So we have a nice big vase. So I'm going to bring my pencil all the way to the edge. And then I can bring it back down and even make that little flat part if I want. But I have drawn half of the vase. Here's the folded part. Here's the open part. With my scissors now, keeping it folded closed, I'm going to carefully cut out my vase. I'm holding the folded part. I want to make sure this is folded because that way when I open it, it won't be in half. It'll be one piece. And if I want that little ridge, I can go in and cut that out. Perfect. Now when I open it, wow, look at that. I've got my vase shape and it looks great and it's the same on both sides. If you were to accidentally cut on the wrong side, you would cut your vase out. And then when you go to open it, you'd be like, oh, here's my beautiful vase. And it would be cut in half. We don't want that. That's why you want to make sure when you're drawing, you draw from the folded side. Okay, the next step is going to be to paint this with some beautiful designs. So during the Ming Dynasty, most of the pottery had this bright white porcelain and this beautiful blue cobalt coloring. So the only color we're going to be using today is our blue paint. A lot of the Ming vases would have dragons, flowers. Sometimes you'd see some bamboo, different line designs, fish, koi fish, birds. You might even see some Chinese lettering. So these could be things that help you decide what you want to paint on your vase. I see some birds and dragons, designs. What I'm going to do is get my blue paint, waking that paint up. And I'm just going to start by adding some of those line designs. And just kind of adding that design going across. Maybe I'll also kind of do that toward the bottom of my vase. But the only color we're using is blue with our white background. I kind of like some of these beautiful flowers. So I might put the center of my flower. So I could put flowers all the way down. And then I'm thinking, what would I like in the center? Do I want to try my hand at a dragon or a fish or a bird. I'm just not sure. I'm gonna go back over this because it's so light. Okay, I think I might try the fish. So taking my brush, I'll make that little fishy face, those little fishy whiskers. And that fishy body. So this is kind of the center of my vase. You might have a dragon or some birds. Add this fishy tail. And some fins. And then I'll paint some scales. Oh, some other fins back here. And then I might put some plants coming up. And so this is just where you're going to be decorating as you would like. And I'm just going to keep adding designs until I'm satisfied with the color on my vase. Perfect. Once you're satisfied with whatever you painted on your vase with your blue design, our next step is to add our vase to the bottom of our tan paper. You don't want to put it at the top or you won't have room for the flowers. So with our glue stick, we are going to glue our vase at the very bottom of our tan paper. Now that your beautiful Ming vase is glued to your tan construction paper, you are going to get a brown marker. With this brown marker, we are going to begin to add some of the branches. So we kind of do a line that curves and then some curvy lines coming off of that. And then you can even take your marker and make some skinnier lines. This way we have lots of places to put our beautiful cherry blossoms. You might even have some that kind of hang down. So we're going to do our thicker line and our thinner line. The more branches you have, the more places you have to add your flowers. So I might put one here. Here. Right, this is looking great. Just add in anywhere you need some extra branches. And our next step will be adding paint. Making sure our branches go right into our vase. Perfect. All right, we're ready for the next step. Using white paint, we are going to add just kind of a little bumpy circle for each flower petal. I think the more flowers you have, just the prettier these look. So we can just kind of make our beautiful cherry blossoms, starting with our white. And you want to just make sure you're getting these little blossoms all over. So whoever picked them really filled this vase up with many beautiful flowers. Go ahead and keep adding your beautiful cherry blossoms to your branches. Now we can use pink and red, kind of as you choose, to kind of show that color of the cherry blossoms. I'm starting with just a little bit of red for some of my darker blossoms. And then you can also switch to your pink, just to give a little variety. These are looking so pretty. Let's go ahead and finish all of these beautiful blossoms. All right, and I'm kind of fanning a little bit of that pink or red out to look like the center of the flower. And once you're satisfied with all of your beautiful, beautiful cherry blossoms in your traditional Ming vase, then you are done with this gorgeous piece of art. I cannot wait to see the vases that you create.